Welcome to the Brainiate Show, where we talk about all things Salesforce, sharing the coolest features, solutions, and best practices to turn you into a Salesforce rock star. Here's your host, former attorney turned Salesforce consultant and trainer, David Giller.
Why does it get stuck? It's not supposed to get stuck. Hello and happy Tuesday, everyone. I hope you are all doing well. I am really excited to see you all today, and I am even more excited to talk about today's topic. So today we're going to be talking about how to leverage LinkedIn to grow your Salesforce career. The reason why I decided to talk about this particular topic today is because so many people are constantly asking me how on earth I came to, sometimes people use the word to hijack their LinkedIn feed. People often remark how when every time they log on to LinkedIn, they just see stuff from me. And each time I respond the same way. I say, I'm sorry. It's not intentional. Or I should say, I'm not trying to overtake anybody else. But I also offer, if it's annoying to you, by all means, you can unfollow me, you can disconnect from me, you can even block me. I promise I won't be insulted by any means. In fact, my whole goal is to provide information that's helpful and useful to folks who do see my content. So even more so, if it's not appropriate, by all means, go ahead and stop it. If I could click on your computer to, disconnect from me or hide my stuff, I'll do it myself. And they say, no, you always post really good stuff, and a lot of times really entertaining stuff. It's just remarkable how you've been able to take over my LinkedIn feed for years. Anyway, so this is something that, I have spent a lot of time learning. I've spent a lot of time learning how to grow my personal brand and how to leverage LinkedIn. And if you haven't already noticed, I personally use LinkedIn in ways that are very different than how most people use LinkedIn. Most people use LinkedIn in order to showcase, here's what I've accomplished, here's what I've done, here are my skills, here are the new badges or certifications that I've earned as it relates to Salesforce. Maybe they only, maybe they only update it just when they're looking for a new job. And I don't do that whatsoever. What I do is dramatically different. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but what I am going to do is I'm going to teach you how you can leverage LinkedIn in order to grow your Salesforce career. So for those who have never joined the live show before, first of all, welcome to all of you. Those who are watching the replay, we missed you during the live stream, but it's okay. I'm not insulted about that either. It's all good. I realize that for most people, at least in the US, it's smack in the middle of the working day. And no, I do not expect you to cancel meetings or change your lunch plans just to join me live. It's totally cool for you to watch it afterwards. For those of you who have never attended before, typically this show is broken up into 3 sequential segments. The first segment is what I often refer to as the talking head segment, where I discuss a strategy. Very often I bring on a guest co-host. So if not I, then it's we discuss a particular strategies or best practices related to Salesforce, related to your Salesforce career, related to the Salesforce platform and Salesforce products. The second, and that's about 20 minutes. The second segment is typically screen sharing, where we're going to show different things on the screen and how to do different things on the screen, usually in Salesforce, but not always. It's always directly related to either the Salesforce platform or your Salesforce career. And the third segment is the open Q&A. So if you've got any Salesforce related questions, whether it's about anything that I'm discussing today or anything else, by all means, just go ahead and throw it in the comments. And when we get to the third segment, I will look at those comments in order to respond to them. For today's show, I'm doing it a little bit different. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of intersperse the best practices with the screen share. You'll see what I mean a little in a couple of minutes. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and jump in. And my stream deck switched on me. So let's jump in and start talking about how to grow your Salesforce career on LinkedIn. And a lot of people are very overwhelmed by this particular topic. I am going to try and spoon feed it to you in a way that is not overwhelming. I'm going to give you a very clear plan on here are the things that you should be focusing on. Here are the things that you should do. And as I mentioned a couple of seconds ago, interspersed with that, I'm also going to show when it's appropriate where to go and what to do and how to do certain things. So this is not a LinkedIn tutorial by any means whatsoever, but it is definitely sharing of best practices specifically related to Salesforce professionals. Because otherwise, just to learn how to use LinkedIn, you can go on YouTube and you can find a ton of other videos from a ton of other folks who have spent their entire lives just focusing on that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. The first topic that we need to focus on is, excuse me, cleaning up your profile. This is not rocket science, people. This is actually pretty straightforward, but let me call it out because I can't begin to tell you how many times I have a conversation with someone. Usually someone will reach out to me and they'll ask for help or advice or thoughts on how to enhance their networking capabilities, how to get a better job, how to get introduced to other people, how to get noticed within the Salesforce ecosystem. And when I look at their LinkedIn profile, they don't have a profile picture. Their profile picture is blurry. Their profile picture has a gazillion icons, badges, and all kinds of other junk on there, distracting from what you want people to see, which is your face. You want people to connect with you. They don't have a banner set whatsoever on their profile. Their information about their employment history is minimal, and that's not the way to do it. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to focus on the headshot. Okay, the headshot needs to be clear. It needs to be professional looking. I am not telling you anything that's like rocket science here. It needs to be clear. It needs to be professional looking. You need to look approachable, which by the way means if you're going to post a face shot, a headshot where you're wearing sunglasses, don't waste your time. Just give up. You might as well cancel your LinkedIn account. No. People need to be able to see your face. They need to be able to see your eyes. Don't post a picture with your dog or with all of your family members. They want to know, who the heck am I talking to? Who is this person that put this particular advice? Who is this person that someone thinks that I should explore hiring them for a Salesforce role that we have within our organization? Your dog is cute, but you know what? It doesn't need to be in your profile picture. You can post a ton of other pictures on your account, in your activity feed. You can post pictures about your dog once a week if you want. I don't give a darn. But don't make that your profile picture. Minimize any distractions in that profile picture. The profile picture is a teeny tiny little icon. And by the way, when you post comments, you respond to other people's posts, that's all people are going to see. A teeny tiny little icon, little avatar. Don't throw in all kinds of other junk in there. Make it clear, make it easy for people to see it. That's wonderful that you have 16 certifications and you're a 4x Ranger and you're a Salesforce MVP. Get that garbage out of your profile picture. You can talk about it in other places, not in your profile picture. Next, we're talking about the banner image. And if you're not familiar with the banner image, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is what I mean by jumping in to show you some screen share stuff. So over here, you're going to be able to see I'm logged into LinkedIn. And excuse me, when I click into my profile, this is the profile picture that I'm talking about. And let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys. This is the profile picture that I'm talking about. And when I comment on other people's posts or I respond to any comment, it's going to be a teeny tiny little icon. People are not necessarily going to click in it in order to decipher all of the distractions from what does this person even look like. The banner image, well, right now, because I'm live on LinkedIn, also the banner image is replaced with this. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on any, let's just go to the homepage. I'll click on any random person and not trying to pick out James over here, but this is what I'm talking about in terms of other, it's cute that LinkedIn wants you to put overlays on your face picture. It's distracting. My recommendation, get that junk out of there. But the banner image that I'm talking about is the image that we have over here behind your head, the big rectangular image over here. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you on this. Here's what I see a lot of people doing. A lot of people find or create a Salesforce themed banner image over here. And usually they will find somewhere online different images of Astro or Cody or anything like that. And they're going to create an image where Einstein is applauding and Astro is pointing and Cody is pointing and the Salesforce logo is all over the place. Even if you are a Salesforce employee, you should not necessarily try to brand yourself as if you do represent Salesforce. And by doing that, so many other people in the Salesforce community are doing that and throwing all of the little badges of which certifications they have. And if they're a Salesforce MVP, they put that in the banner also. A lot of other people are doing that. You are turning yourself into a commodity instead of standing out as someone who has personality, as someone who is original, someone that the visitor to your profile might want to engage in a conversation with you. So you want to be seen as approachable. You do not want to position yourself like any other product that's sitting on the shelf of Walmart. So when I say that, what am I suggesting that you do as it relates to the banner image? So first of all, if you took a picture at, let's say, Dreamforce or a Salesforce World Tour, or you took a picture at a local Salesforce user group meetup, and you're with other people, or it's simply the scenery that's going on over there, the booths, etc. In other words, an actual photo that you took, it's okay to post something like that. If you haven't, or either you have never attended or you have attended and you don't really have any good pictures like that, then what I would suggest is pick anything that is of interest to you. You're interested in airplanes, you're interested in food, you're interested in flowers, whatever it is that is part of your personality. You can feel free to get a picture, and I'm going to show you exactly where and how to do that, to get a picture that is vibrant, that is not commonly used, that makes you stand out from the masses of people that are on LinkedIn, and leverage that for your profile. So I'm going to show you right now two different options, two different ways that you can do this very, very easily. I just noticed now that my head was a little bit off center over here, and I am looking for the right screen in order to rectify it over here. Okay, so basically what we've got going on is here on, whoops, didn't mean to click on that. Give me 1 second over here. So what I want to show you is a website called Unsplash. And if you are not familiar with Unsplash, what I'm going to tell you is that Unsplash is a fantastic website where you can leverage for free, copyright free, beautiful, professional looking photography that you can download and put on your LinkedIn profile. So let's say you're interested in nature. So you can type in landscape. Let's say you're interested in airplanes. So watch this. I can do this. I can go here to pick airplanes, and I can pick any one of these. Actually, not up here, down here. Results for airplanes on Unsplash. These are completely free. I can go here and I can simply download it to my local computer. Then I can go on LinkedIn. I don't think it's going to actually let me do it right now because I'm going live right now on LinkedIn. So I can go on LinkedIn and I can edit my profile. Here we go. So I can edit my profile and I can change photo, and I can then choose that photo that I just downloaded from Unsplash. So here we go. This is it. And then I can position it however I want, whatever it is that I want to highlight, and boom, I'm done. This does not have to take a lot of effort. You don't need to spend a whole lot of time on this. You don't need to stress yourself out. Now, alternatively, you can absolutely use Unsplash. Alternatively, you can use one of my favorite tools, especially when it comes to graphics, is Canva. And I'm going to first show you how you can use Canva for your profile picture. And then I'm going to show you, because I don't think you really need to use Canva for the banner image, even though I've created mine on Canva. I'm going to show you right now from scratch, and it's going to take it's going to be a very quick turnaround in order to do this. I'm going to show you exactly how it's done. So first, as it relates to the, actually what I should say for both of these, the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure what are the dimensions for the images that you're allowed to put on LinkedIn. So let's just go here to Google and let's just put in LinkedIn pixel dimensions banner image profile. And we're going to find a website, an article from, let's look from LinkedIn, where LinkedIn is telling us exactly, here we go, image specifications. So getting it directly from LinkedIn is your best source of truth, so we know exactly what the dimensions should be. Now, I knew off the top of my head that for your profile image, it's a square size, even though they end up rounding it off, it's basically a square size. So for a square size, we can go right here into Canva, create a design, and we can either create our own custom size to pick whatever dimensions we want, or by the way, you can do something like this, and it's going to show you immediately Canva has appropriate dimensions for a lot of different social media type posts, and actually other things that you might want to create that have nothing to do with social media. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to steal the dimensions for an Instagram post. It's still a square and it doesn't really matter, but for whatever reason, that is my go-to in Canva when it comes to creating anything that needs to be a square. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you. So let's say I have my own pictures, and watch this. So you can upload your own pictures into Canva. And I'm going to show you over here where I have a folder that I call DG my initials facial expressions, and I've uploaded a whole bunch of, I just sat in front of the computer, doing all kinds of funky facial expressions. And for those of you who have been following me on social media, a lot of these are going to look familiar to you. So let's say I want to use something like, let's say just a smiling type excited picture. So let's say I want to use something like this. But as I mentioned before, this is real this is really distracting. Even though it has the background of my office here, this is still distracting for the teeny tiny little avatar that you get on any social media platform. You want to make it as clear and easy as possible for people to see who you are, that you should stand out from the background. I don't care how beautiful the landscape was, how beautiful the scenery was, how much you've cleaned your office when you took the picture. Get rid of it. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that real quick on Canva. So you go right here, you click on edit image, and then you click background remover, and it's going to take out the background. Boom, just got rid of the background. So I hit apply, and now I've got this. This looks a little bit naked. All I have to do now is put a background color, any color. So here you can see a whole bunch of colors that I've already chosen, but let's say I'm in the mood for purple and not necessarily these shades of purple. If I know the hex code, I can certainly pop it in over here, or I can just do this, purple, and it's going to show me all different kinds of shades of purple. So let's choose any one of these, and boom, so now I've got purple. So now all I really have to do is go ahead and position this in a way that's appropriate. And once I go ahead and set that up, I then just have to download it from Canva, upload it into LinkedIn, and I'm done. Now, for the banner image, even though I did mention that you can totally just use Unsplash and you don't need to do anything else with it. You can go over here and, okay, once you see the LinkedIn banner dimensions, you could either use that, or you can go here to choose. And why they have two options, I don't really know, but watch what I'm going to show you. LinkedIn banner, and there are two slightly different variations, doesn't really matter. But you could go ahead and build your own. You can, by the way, you see that you're going to see in a moment that Canva gives all sorts of design templates that you can try to leverage. But you also need to remember with LinkedIn, a bunch of accounts, online accounts, have something similar where the design is responsive. So depending on how wide or how tall or what type of device the person is on, if you choose something that has a lot of words on it, it might not necessarily be visible when someone is looking, depending on how wide their screen is or their browser window is or the type of device is. So you're better off using something that has the fewest words possible and something that has just graphics in it. Now, by the way, you might have noticed that on mine, let's go ahead and let's see if I refresh it, if it'll just show my banner before it shows the live stream. You're going to see that I have my Brainy8 logo with my picture, the one that you saw like a few minutes ago, like this, and the solid color behind it. I built that the way that I showed you that I built this. I did it in the exact same way on Canva, just throwing in my logo, throwing in my profile picture. Now, if you don't feel all that creative, you can go right here into Canva and you can choose, like I mentioned before, let's say you're a big foodie, which is totally cool because I love food too. So let's say, you want something like this, fresh fruit. You're giving people something to talk about. You are making yourself approachable and interesting by choosing things that you are interested in to visually represent yourself on LinkedIn. You're going to be remembered by people who visit your profile as, oh, that's the person who always talks about Salesforce related stuff and something with berries on their profile. There must be a health nut or something like that. That's what you want. You don't want to be one of the millions of people who've got all kinds of Salesforce icons and Salesforce logos and Salesforce certifications on the banner. Big freaking deal. Stand out. Choose something that you can speak to, that can be a conversation starter when that person actually approaches you. So basically, that's what I'm trying to call out as it relates to the profile. Now, with that being said, I will also mention that aside from the profile picture and the banner image, you also need to make sure to take care of the summary that you have for yourself on LinkedIn. Let me go back and show you what I'm referring to over here. So what you can see over here on my profile is I've got the summary, excuse me, the summary here that says, former attorney turned Salesforce consultant and trainer. I give that little, excuse me, that little summary elevator speech, that 1 to 2 sentence summary of how you stand out to other people, on how you help other people, on what makes you special. Again, if you want to call out the number of badges or certifications that you have, knock yourself out. But when you do that, you're commoditizing yourself. What does it take? Let's say I am looking at your profile and you're bragging about 15 certifications that you have and X number of badges that you have on Trailhead. What would it take for me to outshine you? I just have to be one unit above you, and now you are less appealing. If anyone even finds that appealing, you are less appealing than the credentials that I have on my profile. You don't want to do that. You want to find a summary that really makes you stand out. What makes you unique? What makes you different from everybody else in the Salesforce ecosystem? So you have to think about what makes you, you, and how do you want to be known in the Salesforce ecosystem? You really want to be known by the number of certifications and badges that you have? Okay, that's not going to get you very far. Next, the jobs. So when you go down on your employment history, go ahead and make sure that it's accurate, that it's up to date, that what you put in, excuse me, what you put in here is actually meaningful, it's helpful, it's relevant, you're actually speaking English, something that people can actually understand. If your summaries are full of abbreviations and acronyms and terminology that your target audience can't relate to, you're talking to nobody but yourself, and that's not going to help you very far. So those are my thoughts on that topic. But next up, aside from cleaning up your profile, the next thing that you need to do, sorry about that, clicked the wrong way. The next thing that you need to do is you need to connect with others. So this is where, depending on where you want to take your career, depending on the type of geographic region, the type of industry, the type of Salesforce products, the type of projects that you want to work on, that you have to think about where you want to take your career. And that should help you identify who it is that you want to be able to connect with. Who are the people that perhaps you can help them, or perhaps they can help you in your career journey. So by the way, when I say connect with them, I don't mean just ask for a connection and then you have no interaction with them whatsoever. Have a connection with them, and then, which segues directly into the next point, engage in, excuse me, meaningful dialogue. What does that mean? If they post something that you found interesting, or maybe you just don't understand, or maybe they're giving advice, but like, you don't necessarily agree with it, engage in discussion with them. Post something about it. Post a comment expressing how you're a little bit confused. You don't fully get it. What are you missing? If they post an article, a video that is insightful, go ahead and put a comment, respond to them, or you can private message them in response as well. Maybe you don't understand the value of a particular resource or feature or whatever it is that they put in their post. And maybe you're a little embarrassed to put a comment saying, I don't get it. Okay, I don't want you to feel stupid by any means. So go ahead and do it privately. Go ahead and take the link to that particular post and private message them and say, I'm a little bit confused. What the heck are you talking about? You're engaging in conversation with them. They're going to then go ahead and look at your profile picture. They don't want to see a picture of your dog. They want to know, who the heck am I talking to? And they're going to look at that banner. Oh, you really like fruit? I'm a big fan of blueberries myself. The conversation is going to start to be more normal, as if it's an in-person dialogue. People are going to start to get to know you, even though you might be in different time zones, even though you've never met that person in person at any point in your life. So it's really important to have meaningful interactions. And when I say have meaningful interactions, that doesn't mean post things and start tagging everyone who recently connected with you on LinkedIn. You need to think of yourself, position yourself as someone who is giving more than taking. So it's okay to take. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for an introduction. It's okay to ask for advice. But you need to make some deposits in that bank account before you start to make withdrawals. So provide some feedback, provide some of your own insights, provide some of your own thoughts, provide them maybe with some introductions that can help them further their career, to help them solve some problems that they might be experiencing in their career before you start turning to them saying, hey, do you have a job for me? I can't begin to tell you how many people that connect with me on social media and I've had zero interaction with them. And they turn to me and they say, can you hire me? Dude, I don't know the first thing about you. You don't know the first thing about me or the types of roles that I'm hiring for. And you're just jumping to, will you hire me? Yeah, actually, I need someone to walk my dog on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the morning. Are you available? Like, is that how you want the conversation to go? It's completely nonsensical. So first you need to make an introduction to that person. They need to know something about you before you can jump to, that's like walking over to a stranger saying, will you marry me? It's like, what? Are you kidding me? So let's be a little bit real about it. Engage in meaningful dialogue. Okay, next up, share helpful content with your own insights about that content. So you might be wondering, okay, what the heck am I supposed to share? What are you talking about over here? Where am I supposed to get content from? Talk about whatever it is that you're learning. You're learning something on Trailhead. You have not landed your first Salesforce job as an admin. That's fine. You're learning things on Trailhead. Are you excited about those things? Are you starting to imagine the different ways that these features or products or settings in Salesforce would be used in the real world? Post something about it online. Post something indicating your excitement about actually using that feature in the real world. Go ahead in your dev org, build out something that utilizes that feature, and then post something on LinkedIn or on other social media platforms about your experience, about your thoughts after having built it out. So you're sharing information about what it is that you're learning more than just, oh, I just finished this trail on Trailhead. You should too. Why the hell should I? Give some insight, give some color, give some background into what you're doing and why should people find it exciting? Why should it be relevant to them? Why should they stop watching their Netflix movie to do whatever it is that you're telling them to do? Why? So give it some context. Share the things that you're excited about. You might be excited about even something that has nothing to do with learning. You might be excited about an upcoming Salesforce meetup, whether it's virtual or in person. And you might be really excited about it. Post something indicating why is it that you're excited about it? Are you excited about it because it's the first time you're going to a Salesforce, an in-person Salesforce event since the pandemic? Are you excited about it because you're looking forward to attending some of the particular sessions and learning certain things over there? Is it because you're interested in meeting someone in person for the first time? Why are you excited about it? So there's a lot of content that's out there that if you truly are interested in pursuing a career in the Salesforce ecosystem, chances are that there's a lot of things that you're excited about. Start identifying those things that you're excited about and post about it. And it doesn't have to be a long essay. It could be 2 sentences and a picture. It can be a long essay, by the way. And in case you did not know, LinkedIn actually has functionality on the platform where you can write a full-blown article and you don't have to have your own blog. You can do it directly on LinkedIn and share it with your network, not only on LinkedIn, but outside of LinkedIn as well. Next, you could provide answers to common questions. Maybe you're learning something about CPQ and you have some questions yourself. And when you find the answer to that question, go ahead and post about it online. And you're now giving more than you're taking. You're giving insight and information for people who had a similar question and they had no idea where to look to find the answers to that particular question. But you just became a valuable resource sharing the insights that you've gained. Even if you've only learned this thing 5 minutes ago, you can now share it with others. And that is incredibly powerful. Teach other people things that you already know. For example, how to import data into Salesforce. There are a lot of people out there in the Salesforce ecosystem that they don't know how to import data into Salesforce. They don't know the different tools that are out there to help import data into Salesforce. If you uncovered, even if it's the free native out-of-the-box methods for importing data into Salesforce, go ahead and write something about it. You are paying it forward for someone who is simply 2 steps behind you in their Salesforce career journey. That will start the conversation, that will start the dialogue online, that will start to get eyeballs on your profile and get people to recognize that you are living and breathing Salesforce related stuff, which is far more impressive than listing out how many certifications and how many badges you've earned so far, because you're sharing the insights that you now know something that is really standing out. And why do I say that? There are people out there who they have 5 or more certifications in Salesforce, but they've never actually imported any data into Salesforce whatsoever. If someone gave them a spreadsheet and said, hey, can you import this into Salesforce? They don't even know where to start. They've answered the question successfully on a certification exam, maybe a couple of months ago, maybe a couple of years ago, but they have no clue how to do it. You stand out from all of those people because you are indicating here is a common problem that people struggle with as it relates to utilizing the Salesforce platform. Here is a solution that I am sharing with you. There might be other solutions out there, but here is one solution that you might find helpful. You can also talk about something like how to make sure people who are Salesforce users don't see information that they should not see when they're in Salesforce. I wish I had a nickel for each time I encountered a Salesforce org where their setup was so insanely messed up because people with Salesforce admin permissions had no clue how to separate the data of these people should only see these records, or when these people look at these records, they should only see certain fields. They shouldn't see other fields. People didn't know how to do that. So you know what they did instead? They go ahead and they build separate objects, like multiple objects for contacts. Joe's contacts, Susan's contacts, Betty's contacts, Steve's contacts, different objects. They build within the same object record types because they came across a video or an article somewhere that indicated that when you have record types, you can also specify which users should have access to those record types. So they create record types for the same exact contact. That's crazy. And it is insanely common. There are several native, out-of-the-box, scalable ways to accomplish this without creating custom objects, without creating custom record types. By the way, I can also tell you, and this is like taking it to the ultimate level, there are many companies that have purposely purchased separate Salesforce instances because they did not want certain users should be able to see certain data. Yeah, think about the level of not only the cost of maintaining separate orgs, but the hassles of trying to manage data in separate orgs. If you're, let's say, the CEO that wants to pull a mailing list at the beginning of the year to wish everyone a happy new year, you want to simply pull a mailing list and you have to pull it from either multiple objects or from multiple orgs. That's nuts. So by talking about something as simple as that, of how to control which users see either certain records or certain fields on records, is instrumentally there. I can talk about, if I were to create articles like this every single day for the rest of my life, I still would not have the reach that all of you could also have. So this is not something that I necessarily focus on, but my point is you could talk about it until you're blue in the face, and there are still going to be people who every single day they're going to come across one of those pieces of content with advice, and they're going to be like, oh, I had no idea. we clearly have a problem in our Salesforce org. Next, share other resources that you found helpful. And you might be wondering, what are you talking about? I'm going to show you right now a little known gem. And when I say little known gem, on the one hand, I would think that everyone who's a Salesforce professional should know this. However, it is shocking to me how many people have been in the Salesforce ecosystem for many years and are clueless about this resource. So what I'm talking about here is the Trailblazer community groups. This is part of Trailhead. So if you're on Trailhead, just like anywhere else on Trailhead, so you're here in the trails and you're looking for different content to earn more badges so that you can brag about them on social media. Okay, go knock yourself out. But you have over here under the community tab, you have groups. And within the groups, so you can join, for those of you who are not familiar with it, this is similar to like Facebook groups, where you can join all sorts of groups. There are groups on every type of contact and every type of Salesforce project and every type of niche industry and every geographic region. So there are lots and lots of different groups here. And I'm just going to show you just a few to give you some ideas on where you can look and what you can find there. So let's go to Lightning now. I'm going to open this one in a new tab, and I'll also open up Release Readiness Trailblazers. Okay. So when I open these up, what you're going to see here is, first of all, in the main chatter feed, in the main chatter feed, you're going to find posts. Now, these groups in particular, the ones that in the Trailblazer community, the ones that start, excuse me, the ones that start with an asterisk, these are ones that were created and maintained by Salesforce employees. There are tons of other groups. Anyone can create their own groups. I think an unlimited number of groups. So there are a ton of other groups that are not created or maintained by Salesforce employees. Those that are starting with an asterisk are. So if I'm looking over here at the Lightning Now group, you're going to see, excuse me, that most of the posts are posted by Salesforce employees. They're sharing resources. They're sharing upcoming webinars. Anyone else can post as soon as you're a member of that group. You can post any question that you have so long as it's relevant to the core topic for that particular group. So you're going to see other questions that other people posted. Here, integration on the fly with Lightning Web Components. Whether or not this particular video is all that helpful, I don't know. But this is a place where you can go and you can find resources that are not necessarily getting shared in other places. And if you find it helpful, you would share information on LinkedIn about why you found it helpful, how you think other people can benefit from it. Who are the other people that you think can benefit most from these resources? So you're going to find a lot of content right here. Now, by the way, when you scroll to the top on the right-hand side, in each of these groups, you're going to find group information. And this is where, especially for those groups that are maintained by Salesforce employees, this is where you're going to find insanely helpful resources. These are usually more evergreen resources, meaning these are not resources that are like just, for this month or for this season. Usually these are things that have a long shelf life where you can start diving into any one of these resources and they're going to give you lots of ideas on different kinds of topics and other resources, other help articles, other videos, other upcoming webinars that others in the Salesforce community would find helpful. So again, this one is Lightning Now. And the other one that I'm going to highlight is, again, there are a ton that you can unpack and dive into. And I'm simply calling these two out because I think these two are really good examples of groups in the Trailblazer community where you'll find a tremendous amount of golden nuggets to inspire you to find content to teach others, to share with others. So In the release readiness group, as the name implies, it's primarily focused on each seasonal release that Salesforce puts out. So when is that release happening? What are the features of that release? Where are the videos where you can find the how-to videos, the demo videos of how each of these features are utilized? You're going to find all of that right over here on the right-hand side. Now, chances are that not only there are many people in the Salesforce community who are oblivious to what was included in the Winter 22 release or the Spring 22 release. Chances are that you yourself are not all that familiar. I am not that familiar with all of the features that were introduced in each of these releases. I often go to this area myself, not only to find inspiration for posting content online, but for myself to learn more myself about what are the new features that either recently came out or are about to come out. So by all means, go ahead and explore the various Trailblazer community groups. Go ahead and search. You could just use the global search right here on the top. Go ahead and search for any topic, any Salesforce product. You want to focus on Pardot, you want to focus on CPQ, you want to focus on B2B commerce, any Salesforce product that is of interest to you, or any niche industry, education or healthcare or finance, that you find interesting. Just go ahead and search for groups related to those topics, and that will help you find other people who are talking about similar things that you might find interesting. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at some of the questions, if any, that you guys have posted. Excuse me. All right, I see over here we've got the first one. Let me throw this. Where is it? I scrolled too far. MIG group posted, is Canva free? So Canva has a free account and a pro account. Everything that I showed you today, you can do in the free account for Canva. And I see that Joe beat me to it, and so did Anita. Hey guys. Let's see if there are any other questions over here for me to address. Nobody has any other questions for me. Yes, the money they've thrown away to have multiple orgs. This happens more often than you would believe. It is insane. And each time it does, my eyes bug out and I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, it does not look like any of you have any other questions, so I'm not going to keep you any longer. Thank you all for joining me today. I really appreciate it. For those of you who are watching the replay, or those of you who are attending live, if you come up with any questions later, you know where to find me. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.